On November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. The victims were Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. They were young, bright, and deeply connected to the university community. That Saturday night, the friends followed separate routines. Kaylee and Madison spent the evening at a bar downtown. Around 2 a.m., CCTV captured them at a food truck, waiting for their ride home. Ethan and Xana were at a fraternity party and returned to the house just before 3 a.m. 2 other roommates were also inside, asleep in their rooms. Between 4 and 4:20 a.m., the attacks took place. A camera from a nearby residence picked up the sound of a dog barking and what may have been faint voices. During this same window, a white Hyundai Elantra was recorded on multiple neighborhood security cameras circling the block. At 4:20 a.m., it was seen leaving the area at high speed. The next day, shortly before noon, a 911 call was made from inside the house. Police arrived to find 4 victims, all stabbed to death with a large knife. For weeks, the investigation revealed little to the public. Students left campus, residents armed themselves, and speculation spread online. Behind the scenes, detectives built their case from 3 major leads. First, the car. The Hyundai Elantra was traced to Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old criminology PhD student living 10 miles away at Washington State University. Second, DNA. A knife sheath left at the crime scene carried male DNA. Through genealogy testing, it was matched to Kohberger's family. Third, phone data. Records showed his cell phone connected near the victim's house on multiple late nights before the murders, suggesting he had surveilled the home. On December 30th, 2022, police arrested Bryan Kohberger at his parents' house in Pennsylvania. He had just driven cross-country with his father. Body cam footage from a police traffic stop along that trip later surfaced, showing Kohberger behind the wheel of the Elantra. Back in Idaho, he was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. Courtroom footage shows him standing silent as the charges were read. Prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty. Kohberger pleaded not guilty. Over the next 2 years, the case moved through the courts. Evidence became public in hearings and filings, surveillance images, DNA analysis, and cell data mapping. The defense argued against the reliability of genetic genealogy and questioned the state's timeline. But on July 2, 2025, Bryan Kohberger changed his plea. He admitted to the murders of Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan, avoiding a trial and sparing himself the death penalty. 3 weeks later, on July 23, 2025, he was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 10 years for burglary.
I hereby sentence Mr. Kohberger as follows. On count 1, burglary, 10 years fixed, 0 years indeterminate. I also impose a fine of $50,000. Count 2, first-degree murder of Madison Mogen. I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
In court, families of the victims gave emotional statements describing their pain and loss. The judge called the crimes calculated, cruel, and beyond comprehension.
Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your.
The case that had gripped the country for nearly 3 years was officially closed. In the end, investigators relied on digital forensics, surveillance footage, and DNA genealogy to bring a suspect to justice. The story of the Idaho College murders remains a reminder of how modern technology and persistence can solve even the most chilling crimes, and of the lives of 4 young students whose futures were stolen far too soon.